I'll create an opinion or some kind of a point of view based on my own life, my own experience as a parent, my own experience as a person in the industry, and then we go from there.
You know, I have this huge platform on The View, and I just started thinking about giving voice to the voiceless.
To create an opinion or point of view based on my life, my experience as a parent, and as someone in the industry. I have this huge platform on The View, and I started thinking about giving voice to the voiceless, Macy Joy Behar began. However, she had no intention of sparking an all-out war on live television, especially not with a longtime colleague like Sunny Hostin. Yet, in a startling turn, she found herself confronting Sunny in front of millions of viewers, firing back with candor rarely seen from her. The clash stemmed from an unexpected source, Sunny's family history. Known for her strong stances on systemic racism, Sunny became the subject of public scrutiny after a shocking genealogical revelation on Finding Your Roots exposed that her third great-grandfather was a slaveholder. Though the news alone was headline-worthy, the situation escalated when Sunny, visibly distressed, appeared to blame Joy for the legal quagmire brewing around her. Joy's withering on-air response went viral instantly. Sunny, a vocal critic of America's racial history, regularly condemned figures who minimized slavery's impact or defended Confederate monuments. Yet her own genealogical twist caught her off guard. On PBS's Finding Your Roots, researchers disclosed her ancestors' link to slavery, leaving her visibly stunned. Rather than denounce the revelation, Sunny brushed it off as a fact of life from that period. Some fans sympathized, noting such discoveries elicit complex emotions, but critics, both liberal and conservative, accused her of hypocrisy, highlighting her history of harsh moral judgments. The controversy exploded when Fox News' Greg Gutfeld aired a scathing segment accusing Sunny of double standards, prompting social media uproar. Days later, headlines about Sunny's revelations were rivaled by a $100 million lawsuit Melania Trump filed over alleged defamatory statements. Greg Gutfeld linked the two stories, weaving a narrative of hypocrisy and sensationalism that kept both Sunny and Melania in the spotlight. Presenting Melania Trump as someone forcefully addressing personal grievances, while Sunny appeared to sidestep ownership of her family's disturbing legacy, Greg Gutfeld's commentary ignited fierce debates across cable news and social media, thrusting Sunny further into the spotlight. Meanwhile, tensions simmered behind the scenes of The View. Producers worried that Sunny's genealogical revelation, coupled with Melania's lawsuit, might alienate viewers or spook advertisers. Rumors swirled that the dual controversies were sparking broader questions about the limits of talk show discussions on personal and controversial matters. The drama peaked when Sunny hinted on air that Joy Behar's jokes and commentary had fueled Melania's lawsuit. While she stopped short of outright blame, her insinuation sent shockwaves through the studio. During a segment about public figures facing legal troubles, Sunny cryptically remarked that some co-hosts, turning to Joy, had pushed narratives so hard they handed ammunition to people like Melania Trump. The audience sensed a line had been crossed. Joy, visibly irritated but measured, asked Sunny to clarify. Sunny hesitated before doubling down, suggesting that relentless speculation led to the $100 million lawsuit. The studio fell silent. Joy, known for comedy over confrontation, paused, then delivered a scathing rebuttal. She reminded Sunny how The View had amplified her critiques of racism, but questioned why Sunny seemed dismissive when her own family history came to light. Joy pointed out the hypocrisy of blaming her for Melania's lawsuit, arguing that Sunny's public reaction to her genealogical bombshell was what set the media ablaze. Joy's sharp response left Sunny visibly shaken, and viewers described the exchange as riveting, with Joy decisively dismantling Sunny's attempt to shift blame. As Joy pressed further, referencing how Sunny once chided others for ignoring their complicity in perpetuating racist systems, the studio atmosphere grew tense. Joy argued that if Sunny's brand was moral consistency, deflecting blame for a lawsuit involving Melania Trump made little sense. Cameras caught Sunny visibly searching for a response, while the live audience murmured in astonishment. Clips of the showdown quickly went viral, fueling the frenzy already sparked by Sunny's genealogical revelation and Melania's lawsuit. Social media divided sharply. Some praised Joy for calling out perceived hypocrisy, while others criticized her for publicly humiliating Sunny. Talk radio hosts speculated whether the rift could be mended or if it signaled irreparable damage. ABC executives reportedly held emergency meetings, worried the fallout could upset the show's dynamic. The confrontation blurred separate controversies: Sunny's genealogical bombshell, Greg Gutfeld's critique, and Melania Trump's lawsuit, into a larger debate about accountability, hypocrisy, and comedic commentary in a politically charged environment. Viewers felt Joy's rebuttal exposed Sunny's rhetorical blind spots. She demanded historical figures be held accountable but seemed unwilling to apply the same standard to her own ancestor. By tying Joy's commentary to Melania's lawsuit, Sunny inadvertently provoked the co-host least likely to hold back.
Well, for me, the two moments are connected in a couple of ways, but I decided to become a prosecutor because I saw my uncle in front of me. And I saw that he didn't seem to matter to the police.
In the following days, tension between the two co-hosts was palpable. Audience anticipation grew over whether they would address their feud or pretend nothing had happened. The meltdown inspired an avalanche of think pieces, with critics split. Some praised Joy's stand against selective outrage, while others viewed her response as unnecessarily harsh. Greg Gutfield seized on the drama, replaying the showdown and mocking Sunny's loss of moral high ground. Conservative pundits speculated that Sunny would either need to apologize or risk losing her place on The View, as the uproar over the explosive exchange showed no signs of fading. Amid the turmoil, the network's PR department released a statement, affirming The View as a platform for spirited, respectful conversations. Behind the scenes, however, producers were reportedly scrambling to contain the fallout, especially with the high stakes of Melania Trump's lawsuit looming. Even if The View had no direct connection to the case, the perception that its discourse could trigger such a legal threat was unsettling. The threat of a lawsuit reminds people to remember that the legal threat was unsettling. Social media erupted with memes capturing Joy's sharp expressions and Sunny's stunned silence.
I definitely am a journaler, so I did that piece, and I also just sort of sat down and dictated a lot of my memories, and I just started from the beginning. I started from my childhood in the South Bronx projects.
While some mocked Sunny for becoming the target of outrage, others called for empathy, noting how emotionally disorienting genealogical bombshells can be. Still, these calls were drowned out by a louder narrative. Joy had gone off script and dismantled her co-host on national TV. On The View, the live format left little time to dwell on the controversy, but it didn't fade from viewers' minds. Each time Sunny spoke about societal injustices or historical inequalities, skepticism surfaced online. How could she criticize others' failings while avoiding accountability for her family's link to slavery? Joy, meanwhile, maintained a firm stance, making subtle remarks about hypocrisy that fans saw as digs at Sunny. Exercise? Surgery. The drama deepened when reports emerged that Melania Trump's legal team had inquired whether remarks from The View could be included in her $100 million lawsuit.
It's my parents. I'm not saying that just because they're here, but I think in many respects they were teenagers, and they ended up with this kid who was very inquisitive. My mother was studying to be a teacher, so she did a lot of her lesson plans on me. And so by the time I was 4, I was reading the New York Times. And so that sounds crazy, but that's how we lived.
While it was unclear if these inquiries were serious, the specter of the lawsuit added pressure for the hosts and producers. Joy's on-air takedown became a defining moment for the season, signaling a shift in how The View might approach future controversies, especially those involving personal lives. Producers recognized that in an era shaped by social media, audiences now demanded even more candor from the show. If a host was willing to grill politicians or celebrities for moral lapses, she should be prepared to face tough questions about her own ancestral baggage. Joy's public confrontation of Sunny expanded the show's boundaries of internal accountability, leaving viewers stunned by its raw intensity. Over time, the immediate firestorm cooled, but the tensions lingered. In interviews, Sunny admitted her genealogical revelation was hard to process and acknowledged her quick dismissal of her ancestors' actions as a lapse in judgment. While expressing regret that the narrative overshadowed her advocacy work, she stopped short of a sweeping apology. Sunny downplayed the confrontation, saying The View hosts respect each other despite heated debates. Joy, however, remained firm, remarking in an interview that you can't ask everyone else to look in the mirror if you're not prepared to do the same. This statement encapsulated the controversy. If Sunny's public persona was built on moral certitude, did she have an obligation to apply the same scrutiny to her own history?
That's unbelievable. But this is inspired by the summer that you spend at the beach with your family. So what is it like to share that time with your children?
It's amazing. I mean, there are only 3 places in the country where Black folks were allowed to summer on the beach.
Meanwhile, Melania Trump's lawsuit remained in public consciousness, partly because Greg Gutfield continued highlighting how Sunny deflected blame for The View while Melania pursued legal action. The comparison between historical wrongs and defamation claims was polarizing. Some called it absurd, while others saw it as a critique of how public figures manage accountability. One path involved decisive action, the other, ambiguous excuses. As the narrative unfolded, The View saw a rating spike as audiences tuned in for potential clashes between Joy and Sunny. Each episode seemed laden with tension, with fans analyzing micro-expressions for lingering resentment. Some critics speculated the confrontation was staged for attention, but ABC staffers insisted it was genuine. The Joy-Sunny incident became a turning point in discussions about talk show decorum, personal accountability, and confronting one's past publicly. It highlighted the fine line between comedic commentary and sensitive issues like slavery, systemic racism, and personal heritage. A single genealogical revelation spiraled into a scandal involving allegations of hypocrisy, a former First Lady's defamation lawsuit, and a public fallout between co-hosts. When audiences recall Joy's takedown, they focus on the anger, silence, and social media storm, but its real significance lay in exposing how personal disclosures and comedic jabs intersect with moral questions.
I have this huge platform on The View, and I just started thinking about giving voice to the voiceless. What some people don't know about me is they know I'm a prosecutor, but I'm from the South Bronx projects. Like, I'm really just a everyday person, and I remember when I was 7, my uncle was in front of me, and our family never talked about it.
The aftermath compelled the show to reflect on the responsibilities tied to such moments, beyond mere entertainment. Although both hosts remained on The View, tension lingered, surfacing during discussions of personal accountability or historical reckoning. For viewers, the clash underscored the razor-thin line between performance and raw emotion on live television. Joy's confrontation became a symbol of the rifts that emerge when moral contradictions are exposed. For some, it was a reminder that no one escapes the complexities of history. For others, it was riveting live television at its rawest. Regardless, Joy's takedown reshaped The View's dynamics and left Sunny to publicly reckon with a family legacy she hadn't anticipated facing so explosively.